Greetings, YouTube. Long time no see. Normally we talk about technical things related to photography and Darktable and all that stuff, but today we got something a little bit different than our normal discourse. And I recognize with the content of this video, it's possible I risk losing many subscribers. And you want to know what? To be honest with you, I don't care. Why, you ask? Well, to be perfectly honest, I didn't make this YouTube channel for some kind of fame or attention or subscribers. I mean, I got the subscribers and all that bag of chips and all that, but I made this channel because I wanted to take the genuine thoughts and experiences I've had with regarding photography and potentially even life and actually share them with other people, maybe that it might mean something to somebody else. And I did promise a nugget of proof in this video, and I'm not pulling your leg. Stick around to the later end of this video and I'll show you. Intrigued yet? Well, grab a cup of coffee, stick around, and let's talk about God. Friends, I absolutely love photographing deer. They are so gentle and they are so majestic. And I had this experience a couple months ago where I had the opportunity to witness the birth of a young fawn. And it was amazing and it was beautiful, and I totally forgot my camera. But it ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to me. Why, you might ask? Well, instead of focusing all my mental energy into just getting that perfect shot, I actually had time just to sit down and just watch and experience it with my own eyes and just feel and enjoy what was actually happening, just experiencing it. And you know, this experience with the fawn really pulled on my heartstrings. And it's because I have a personal experience when I was born. You see, I never mentioned this on my channel before, but when I was born, I was supposed to die. You see, the very day I was born, they realized I had a heart defect on my pulmonary valve. And I learned recently, actually, that more than 100 people prayed for me that day, that I'd make it and be here to tell the tale. And I am. And I look back at this and realize that life is such a miracle. And I saw that through the birth of that fawn. And, you know, I've been photographing landscapes, animals, the night sky for many, many years now. And I've been looking through this lens. And I never asked myself, was the evidence for God right in front of my very eyeballs? And was I too arrogant to see it? All right, so now it's about to get real. I want to share another experience with you guys. All right, so about a year ago, I started having some really weird dreams, two in particular. And precursor, I was in a really good place emotionally. My YouTube channel was thriving. I had maybe some 3,000 or so subscribers at the time. My marriage was thriving and doing really good. I was pretty happy emotionally. I was really happy with my life. And out of nowhere, I just had this really weird dream. I was by my parents' old bed in the house I grew up in, and all of a sudden I felt like I was being suffocated to death. And I vaguely remember maybe the presence of a serpent or something, and I thought I was going to die. It was terrible. And just out of nowhere, something just came and punched my arm, and I woke up and I was like, what the just happened? And I felt like someone had literally just socked my arm. It scared the shit out of me. And I was scared. I was kind of terrified, honestly. And I don't even think I went back to bed after that. And kind of in my thoughts, I just thought to myself, what if something about the way I thought isn't working the way I thought it was? What if maybe things were different than I thought it was? Like, we always ask to ourselves, how are we right? But we never ask, how might we be wrong? Am I wrong? And to be honest, I went that day into my basement, and my wife, her grandmother had this King James Bible, and she left it with us, and I started reading it very nervously. And I started reading the first book in the New Testament, which is the book of Matthew. And I had another dream that night, and I saw Jesus in a dream, and it was remarkable, the most remarkable dream I've ever had. And he was just looking at me. He's like, son, you sure I don't exist, bro? Well, have fun with that in the morning. And sure I did. And here I am now on YouTube sharing my story with you. So friends, like, context here, like, I grew up with a physics background. I have a physics education, my undergraduate's in physics, my master's in space studies, and very technically cerebral-minded person. And I also grew up in, I hated religion. I hated Christianity. I grew up in a Christian household, and I hated going to churches with smelly carpets and old people. And I hated how some people who espoused to be like really good Christians were very judgmental and very nasty to me. And it like really pushed me away. And I felt like everything was so rigid. And I felt like I just had to fit into this cookie cutter that I could never possibly fit. It wasn't what I wanted. And that was my perception of Christianity. And I learned as I started reading this book and just changing my paradigms that I was totally and completely wrong. See, Jesus Christ is the only God. There are many supposed gods, aren't there? But Jesus Christ is the only God who deemed us as more worthy than himself, that he suffered on the cross, had his skin ripped off, probably 51 sometimes, had his hands nailed to the cross and suffocated on the cross and died for us that we might be freed from our own corruption, our transgressions. And he took the weight of our entire lives and put them on the cross such that we might be brought closer to God. Jesus is the only God, God in the flesh, who has done that for us. That is the love of God. And when I realized that becoming closer to God was actually very freeing. And it wasn't rigid. It wasn't compressing. Something that actually actualized my life. That spiritual component that was always there, that was always missing. Now it's here, and I feel like a completely different person. But not trapped. I feel very invigorated, actually. And kind of feel like, honestly, this is the best way to explain it, like, kind of like I was a kid again. Like everything just feels normal. I gave a mustard seed size amount of faith in God, and he gave me 100% of God in return, just like he said he would in his word. And I'm dumbfounded. All right, and I promised you that nugget of proof, and here it is. So God must have really wanted to humble me in my scientific ass, because I learned later that the King James Bible that was originally put together in 1611 is mathematically perfect in ways that we simply can't explain with a rational mind. And it seems to defy what is mathematically possible. Don't believe me? Well, go check out Brandon Peterson's channel at Truth in Christ and check out some of his videos. I've linked one below. What he does has absolutely blown my mind, and it's kind of, it's really humbled me, but it's also amazing. And I wanted to share that with you, that it might mean something to you and might intrigue you. Give it a shot. Friends, I genuinely appreciate you letting me be just completely genuine and open with you in this video. I hope you found it extremely intriguing. If you did, please give me a like. It really helps out the video. And tell me, what has photography taught you? Have you had any really weird dreams in your life that have completely changed your paradigms? Let me know in the comments. And Nick out.